Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Selena, and this is You Plus Happy. Each week, I bring you someone who challenges us to define happiness and success on their own terms with a dose of laughter. Remember to subscribe to the You Plus Happy podcast on YouTube to stay up to date on the new episodes. You can also follow the show on Instagram at You Plus Happy. The most important thing is to subscribe to YouTube, so do it now. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This week we have Shemera, who works in the film industry. She also is a videographer, photographer, who dabbles in fashion as well, and is an all-around creative. Welcome to the show, Shemera. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm gonna jump in. Okay. How did you get started?
Oh, how did I get started? Okay.
Big question.
So, I'm a twin.
Really?
Yes, I'm an identical twin.
Okay.
And we've kind of always loved the camera. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if you remember. Do you remember Nickelodeon had those film cameras back in the day?
Mm-hmm. Vaguely.
It was like, I don't know. I can't really explain it. It was like a real nostalgic camera. It was film camera. But that was our first camera ever. Well, outside of playing with our mom's Polaroid.
Right.
That didn't have any film in it. But but that was our start to like our love for photography and just creating scenes, just being an all-around creative person in general. We built a working what's the thing it's called that you use in school? Projector.
Okay, yes.
I
was gonna say projector.
So we did a projector that actually worked.
Oh wow!
Cardboard boxes, wax paper. So at the end of the school year in elementary school, the teachers would always clean out the classrooms.
Yeah.
So we would always take a lot of this stuff home because we like to play school.
Right.
So we would make sure we would grab like the projector worksheets and stuff like that.
Okay.
So by the time we got home, we made our projector. We could show everything on the wall. So we just had to figure out like, oh, okay, this is a reflection. Use the mirror. This da 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 da. So I think that's like one of my biggest creative accomplishments for us. So yeah, but so that was the start of our creative journey, photography journey. And then like we used to play the news all the time. Somebody would be an anchor.
Wow.
And we would just kind of just grow from there. Like we used to dance too.
Okay.
So like learning all the music videos, dances, and routines, or choreographing routines and stuff like that. So that was the creative aspect for us. What else? Fashion is weird.
Okay.
We had horrible fashion. I'm not gonna say it was horrible. It was a very acquired taste in a sense.
Okay, I like the way you put that.
So it was like a sense of, we used to love Sierra. Mm-hmm. So it was like a boy mixed with the Avril Lavigne.
Okay. I don't think that's bad. I feel like that's my look now.
No, you see the photos. So we would go. So whenever we were out of school, we would go to another school to visit.
Okay.
And they were like, "Oh, is it tacky day or something?" I'm like, "No, that's just how we dress."
Wait, was it the like low rise pants? Because that's what Sierra was wearing.
So we would wear like. I remember one of my outfits vaguely to the T. So I had on like these khaki cargo pants.
Okay.
That cuffed at the ankle. I had some black and white striped socks under.
Okay.
Without high socks. With a pleated mini skirt that was like this long over it.
Okay.
And then I had like a leotard, a black long sleeve leotard with a pink fitted spaghetti strap shirt.
Okay.
And for shoes, I would wear my ballet slippers.
Okay.
Well, not ballet, the jazz slippers. Mm-hmm. And I would take the shoestrings out of my shoes and make sure it go up and wrap around my ankle.
Well, that's cute. Not the whole outfit. I'm saying, well, you know what? I feel like fashion is subjective, and just like all art.
Yeah.
So somebody could, someone can look at a painting. Two people can look at the same painting and have completely different.
That is very true.
Response to it. So your response to your get up, in hindsight, is like, nah.
Right.
we weren't on the right path.
Yep. So we would like throw on like some heels and some sweatpants
But people are doing that now.
Yes, they are.
You took fashion risks
Yes.
And
Yes.
they're
To
not
the
all
T.
they're not all winners.
Like we
But you
had like
tried.
both like neckties, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe we were a little ahead of the game back
I
then.
think
Because
so.
nowadays, I'm just like, oh, we did that already.
See, you were ahead of your time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you didn't. It sounds like you didn't. You were on your way. You didn't execute it with that
Right,
outfit.
right.
It wasn't execution, but you had the vision.
Exactly.
You had the vision. Real quick on the projector, how long did it take y'all to make it?
Not long. Because once
Really?
you study the projector, well, we were little nerds. I don't know. But once you like look at the projector and like study and figure out like all the components, then you can just, oh, we got this at the house. We can do this.
Wow. Wow, that's cool.
We're pretty. I'm saying weird. Sorry, it's a habit. We're pretty observant when it comes to things. So even like if I go out and like I kind of just stare all around, like, oh, this is how this is. This is how this is done. This is how that is done. It's like, oh, now how can I simplify that?
That is that. I feel like that's a super. I don't want to say power, but a super talent, like a gift or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many people are making projectors.
Right.
I never heard of it happening.
Right. Yeah. We just had a wide imagination.
Yeah.
So
you, and then you do videography and photography.
Yes.
How did you stick with that? Like, because you did a lot as a child, but like, what made you stick with that? Because it sounds like y'all dance, but you don't dance now.
Yes, and I miss it so much, but it's okay.
I get it.
So when we were in high school, we got our first job in the 9th grade.
Okay.
And it was this nonprofit organization called Hearts to Nourish Hope, and they had like three different programs. They had art, they had dance, and then they had video production. And we took the video production portion, and that was like all video. So that kind of just got us wrapped in there. Just like, I think it was more so school focused. So we had to do like the whole, what happens with parents if their kids miss a certain amount of days. We had to do like different interviews. We were making cue cards and all this type of stuff like that. So that was the start from there. I think we did that about 2 or 3 years, to the point we actually became like the teachers there as well.
Yeah.
And then once we left that alone, we went to college. We went to AIU, American Intercontinental University, for media production for film and video. So
where's that?
It's in Dunwoody.
That's in Georgia.
It's in
Georgia. I'm still new.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot.
You know I'm an Atlanta baby. Atlanta baby. Okay, got it. I follow.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's in Georgia.
Okay.
It's right up 75 north, that area. Off 400.
Okay.
Right off 400. It's around the corner from the Art Institute, if they're in the same location. But yeah, so we took media production for film and video. We got our bachelor's. And then after that, it's funny. When we graduated, we didn't work anything film.
I mean, that happens a lot. People go to school for one thing, and then they get the job that they can get. You know.
And I hated it because I was like, oh, I got this dream. Me and you gonna be together for life. Like our whole world is just me and you.
Yeah.
And then time passed, life happens, and we kind of went out. Said, we did our own little thing. And 10 years passed, and that's how long it took me to get into the film industry now. And I officially work full time. Before then, I worked at the World of Coca-Cola.
Okay.
I was a sharpshooter. I was a photographer there.
Okay.
So the people that you see on every station that you went to and take their photo, yep, that was me.
Wow. Okay.
So after that, I went to, where did I go after that? I worked at an ice cream shop. I'm not sure if you know who Angel McCautry is.
No.
She's a very well-known WNBA basketball player from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
She played for the Atlanta Dream. She played in Olympics. Wow. She opened an ice cream shop in Atlanta, so I worked there for, about almost 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
And then they actually just reopened, so I'm gonna plug that in. Y'all go check them out. They're at the Riverside Epicenter.
Okay.
Ice cream, homemade. It's amazing. It's dope. Family friendly environment. Loving all of that. So after I left there, I started working. No, let me go back. I was a sub.
Okay. So wait, so you just did a bunch of stuff that you
Yes.
needed to do,
Yes.
but um, what I hear, well, I have one follow up question. When y'all had the opportunity to do the photography and videography versus the dancing, what made you go that route before y'all even went to college?
I think I just enjoy the creative aspect of it. Just being able to tell people stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody. I had a quote that I used to say. Everyone has a story, don't be afraid to tell it.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of my quotes that I used to say growing up.
It's true. It's true. Being really curious, you learn that I think we all know that, but like asking questions and getting people's background is it's really exciting. And then also what you said, what really stood out to me is it took you 10 years to work in the industry that you went to school for.
Yes.
But to me, that sounds like all the cliches, quotes of like, you don't know when you're going to get there, but you'll get there. Just keep going and blah, blah, blah. But it's so true. Like, you could have just given up on it. 10 years it feels like a long time, but I think it's like when it's right, when the time is right, the time is right, you know?
Exactly.
What was the turning point when you felt like, what made you, what was the turning point? How'd you get to, after the 10 years, like how did it happen?
How did I get into the film industry?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was I working? Yes, I was still working at Cascade.
Okay.
Cascade skating rink.
Okay.
And one of my friends, that works they own part owner of NHG Studios. So if you ever need a studio space to go to, check them out.
Okay.
Kirkwood. They sent me a link for this program that they were starting in Georgia. It was a production assistant program. It's called Set South. Set South Production Assistant Program. And it was like, hey, go ahead and apply for it. I think you should try it. In my head, I'm just like, dang, like, I don't know. Is it too late for me? Like, has that ship sailed? But I was like, you know what, Shemera, just go ahead and do it anyway. And I did it. And a few days later, I got an email like, hey, we're interested for you to come in and do an interview. And I was like, oh, okay, I got selected. And they was like, oh, it's hundreds of people that applied. So now I'm in this building where we're going through what the program is, what we'll learn. They was like, oh, but it's not paid. I was like, oh, shoot, Jesus, now I got to quit my job and do this program. I was like, I got bills I got to pay.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm still going to do it, but I'm going to work as well. So that program was a 4-week program, I think.
Okay.
So this is the same. I think this is like my champion story for me. So it was around Memorial Day weekend. And you know, like a lot of events and stuff were going on.
Yes.
So at Cascade, they have those events too. So mind you, I have class with the program from like 8 a.m. to 3, 4, 5 p.m. I also got to work too. So when I get out of class, I got to go to work. But it's Memorial Day weekend, so we got late night sessions.
Okay.
Meaning, we not wrapping up till 4, 5 in the morning.
Okay.
And I still got to be in class at 8.
Yes.
So like for a whole week straight, I was just doing that. Get up, work until 6 in the morning when I got home, be in class at 8. Get off work about 4 and 5, be at work at 6. Get off about 3, 4, 5 in the morning again. Yeah. For a whole week straight. And I was like, okay, I made it through.
Okay. How did you meet? So they sent you the program from that studio. How did you know them? You just knew them through?
So I met Ron while I was in college. He was working with another photographer in Georgia. And we got in contact with that photographer because they had an event at that studio. So we all met, shot, created a commercial, this and the third. And me and him just kept in contact from there.
It's like that's saying, I'm full of cliches, y'all know that, but it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes, that is the ultimate thing.
So it sounds like no matter how, this is my bit, like one of my, what I'm taking away from this is like, get in the room and get those connections, right? No matter how you, however you can.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And just in the overall thing is just being yourself. Because whenever I go in a place, I don't try to overshare. I don't try to make myself known I'm in the building or in the room or available. I just show up as me. I pray. I get, like the last event I went to, I said, all right, Lord, I'm not feeling the best. I'm not mentally there. I'm not mentally feeling like I can bring everything forward, but I pray and ask that you just speak, be my words, be my thoughts, be my actions, be whatever it is. Just show up in the room, just show through me.
Yeah.
Just be me so that I can go into that room and show up and do whatever it is that I need to do.
I know the exact feeling because like as I work towards my goals and my dreams more and more, I'm like, I have to make a commitment, right? I can't do it when I feel like it.
Right.
And sometimes, so the commitment, sometimes one of my commitments now is to go to an event at least once a week to network or whatever. And I don't know anybody. Do I feel like it every week? No, absolutely not. And there are moments where it's like, oh my God, I got to get myself together because I'm really not feeling this today. And I do the same thing. I just pray like, but I don't, it's a little, obviously a different prayer, but just I ask myself, what are my intentions going into this room? And then ask myself, what energy am I bringing? Like what am I bringing to the space? It's not all about getting.
Right.
And, and those are the two things that get me, I don't have to do it every single time. I do a check-in, but those are the things that get me back on track.
Right.
And like, okay, get your mind right. These people don't have anything to do with what you got going on. Or just like you said, just you're just not in the right space that day.
Right.
But you got to push through.
You definitely do.
Because if you get booked, you getting paid, you're going to show up. You're going to push through. So I love that of like making sure. You said you just did that this weekend.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Checking in on. Okay. And then I forgot what you were saying about. I wanted to go back to. Your champion story. So basically, you. I think it sounds again like you went back to you made a commitment.
Yes.
Like, okay, I don't get paid for this, but I got selected. I'm going to do it, and I'm still going to do my job. And you push through.
And you have to, and that's another thing to add on to that. You have to be willing to, even though you might have a vision of the position that you want to be in, you have to be open to accept the things that might not look like what you want at that time. Be able to take on the roles and positions that might not look like what it is that you want, but it can place you in the environment of what it is that you want. So like, I'm not an audio person. I'm not a lighting person. I'm not a group. I don't do that. But I want to learn the components and aspects that all it takes in that environment. That way, I might not do it, but I'm willing, and I know the knowledge and understanding of this, that, and the third, where I can step in if I need to. Because you never know. Like, people are literally always watching you. Like, I worked on a production, and I feel like literally I was like the bottom of the barrel. And I was like, all right, Lord, I don't know. I'm trying not to cry and have my whole breakdown. I can't do it, but I'm going to keep on pushing. I was like, I feel like a little slave right now, but I'm going to keep on pushing. And at the end of the production, there was like, and I sent the designer a text. I was like, I know this wasn't the best production for you. I feel the same way for me, but I appreciate all the work that you put into this as a whole and maintaining yourself as a whole throughout the entire production. And just to hear her say, I know you might feel like you felt like you were not seen or this, that, and the third, but I saw you. I saw all the work and effort that you put into it. So those little key things that kind of bring you back to that center point, that focus, that motivation. It might not mean much to nobody else. Right. But that's kind of like that thing that you need to like light the fire again. So you can move on to the next step. You can move on to the next thing. Yeah. And it's just like those little reminders and those little hints in the back of your mind that'll keep pushing you. Yeah. And you maintaining your integrity, no matter what the project. I think that is so important. Not letting the project or the production that you're working on dictate who you're gonna be and your work ethic. It didn't waver. Right. That is.
That is something. Yep. And then you also acknowledge the designer's work ethic. And you know what's funny about that too? I'm not saying this will happen because to me, that's a separate thing from what I'm about to say. That's just like you are honoring yourself and who you are in those spaces. But then another thing, a byproduct could be, or a consequence of it also is like you said, somebody's always watching. So you could get another project because this might not have went well, right? But somebody saw how you work and how you move, and you did your part, right? And it's like, oh well, let's call up Shemera because I know how she works, right? Exactly. That's really important. I didn't think about, like, not always, the room doesn't always have to set your temperature. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yep. There's a metaphor there, but I can't find it. I can't find it right now. Come back around. Spin about for us. I can't find it right now, but it's somewhere. But yeah, I really love that. Yes. What have been? There was a lot that I wanted to follow up on, but what have been your challenges in the industry and with everything you do?
Making a pinpoint in where it is that you want to be. Because like when you work in the film industry, you have to join. You don't have to join the union, but you have to join the union based on how far you really want to get. And it's like, I have all these interests that I like, and I want to tap into this. I want to tap into that. I want to tap into this. Yes. And I don't want to dissolve myself down to one thing. But at the same time, like in that, you have to focus on, okay, if you're in this one area, do you feel like you would be completely satisfied if you did what it is that you know for sure that you wanted to do? Like, I love photography and video, but I also love fashion and hair and makeup and this and the third. So what can you do, Shemera, to make sure you kind of tap in to get like all components in one area? And that's costumes for me. You have that, you can tap into the fashion side of things. You're on set. You can help dress the people. You can be in the environment and see all the moving components on set and what it takes. Right. Without having to deal with the stress of being like in the camera department. And you can't sit and watch and observe and how this is done, this and the third. All the things that I need to watch and see, I can't sit and do that if I work in the camera department, because I know for a fact that I have to be focused in this, that, and the third right here. So costumes is like that area where I can kind of house all my interest in one. Yeah. And then outside of the film industry, I can do my own photography and video stuff, whether it is shooting behind the scenes for people or working on somebody else's photo shoot. I'm always a student in a sense, so I don't mind stepping in. I don't have to have the light all the time. Right. Sometimes my light is me helping you shine. So it's like, just being in a creative environment as a whole is like that fulfilling moment for me.
Yeah. I love everything you just said so much because, well, one, I know I'm gonna forget stuff, but one, I think it's so important. Like when you're creative, it's an itch. And like you have to scratch it. But usually, I don't know any creatives who only like to do one thing creatively. So then that's when the challenges come in of like, but to get really good at one thing, you have to do that one. You have to focus and hunker down on that thing to become like, I'm not saying you have to, there's different approaches to things, but like, I feel like to be, I'm not expert, but just to be really good at your craft, you need to give it, a lot of attention and focus and water and blah, blah, blah. But it's so tricky when you're creative because you really, people might, that's why I think maybe creators get like those stereotypes or get labeled like flotty or all over the place. Yep. But it's because you get caught. I don't know what my creativity is going to call for. Today I might want to write a poem. Tomorrow I might want to run an act. I might want to do a sing the next. I don't know. It's going to manifest. I don't control this. Right. It comes out how it wants to. I can't help this. Right. But so I think that's a beautiful thing about being around other creatives is that typically we get that. Like we get that part of it. And I love that you sat down because it sounds like your mind is also, this might not be the word, but your mind is also very analytical.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you, first of all, you're observing, but also with yourself and your choices.
Mm-hmm.
So you sat down and like, how can I scratch this itch of like, and not limit myself in one space? So you're like, okay, the fashion being what is it called on set when you do the fashion wardrobe?
Costumes department.
Yeah,
wardrobe.
costume department. That's what you said. Okay, you like, okay, I get to tap into all of this, and it's like well rounded.
Right.
That's so good. I never thought about it, like, okay, and it sounds so obvious, but now I'm like, I never thought about this thing. Like, what can I do that's gonna hit all of the marks? Because I can't do just one thing. Like, I just can't.
Yep.
I love that so much. And then I also what you said about being a student, like you're not trying to get to this level where you are just all you do is shine. Basically, you like, no, I want to learn. I like listening. I like taking home information. It sounds like you have this thing. I have it of like love to gather information.
Right.
Is that one of the things that you feel like?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yep. I am huge on that. Like an information junkie.
Right.
Almost.
And like me, I'm left-handed. My twin is right-handed.
Okay. Oh.
So
okay.
I'm definitely the handsy person. I have to be in that space in order for me to like completely understand what it is that I'm doing.
You need hands-on.
Yes, literally. I have to have hands-on.
Okay.
Because that'll also help put me mentally in that space as well.
Right. And I think it's important too to know what kind of learner you are. Yes. I just realized I'm like a visual learner, so I can't like, you can't tell me how to do something. I need to see it.
Exactly.
And like,
I will not understand. I hear you talking, but
I need visuals.
But sweetheart,
if you can't send me no pictures, listen,
exactly. I need step by step. If you stop motion, give me a stop motion. But let me see something.
I learned that even from when I go to restaurants. If it's a menu with no pictures, which most decent restaurants don't have pictures, I have to Google it. Like I can't, even if I know what it is, I need to see it to make my decision. And I was like, oh, I must be super visual more than I realized. But I think that's important to know what kind of learner you are, so you can help facilitate your learning for yourself,
your environment as a whole.
So when did you feel like you failed, and how did you deal with that?
When did I feel like I failed? I would say around the time where graduating from college.
Really?
And not going straight into the film industry. I don't know. I guess I had like this whole high expectation of when you graduate, you go to college, you graduate, you're going to get into this, da, 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 da. But that's not how it played out for me.
Right.
But I also sit and think of myself at the time then versus now. I truly don't think that I would have appreciated every opportunity that I have had now and given now if I was to have it back then. I wouldn't have taken it serious. You probably be looking at me like crazy, like, oh, you all over the place. But now it's like I'm so grateful literally for every opportunity that's placed, every word, everybody that's mentioned my name in something or referred anything. It's just I'm in a place of more gratefulness than anything. I don't care how big, how small, if it's not what I want to do, if it's what I want to do, but I'm just in a grateful space, especially me being able to be available to support other people as well. Like, how can I help you? And it's not about me just saying, oh, I need. What can I do to help you push along or do it on whatever you have going on? Just like me and you connecting.
Right.
I know I'm not a big talker. I'm just now getting into a phase of talking.
Yeah.
And understanding, Shemera, okay, it's okay to talk. Because I used to be like, oh, let me just hush and sit back.
Okay.
But now it's like I'm getting to a space where, okay, Shemera, you have to learn how to speak more, speak up for yourself. And the crazy thing is, when I was in elementary school, I used to get letters sent home like, hey, Shemera needs to learn how to speak up for herself.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Can I just tell you mine real quick? They would be like, Selena needs to shut the fuck up. That's basically basically what they said. They didn't use that language.
Right.
They were like, she's so smart, but she won't shut up.
Yeah.
So it's funny how it still translates to adulthood.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I just try to tame mine, but I got a freaking talk. I did a talk show. So, so you're pushing yourself because it's not that you're trying to make yourself a big talker, change who you are, but you're trying to make sure that you at least advocate for yourself.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because it's funny. I just told my sister this a couple of years ago. I was like, I was semi-bullied in elementary school.
No.
And I never really spoke up to myself. I just let it happen and then just keep it moving, just brush it on the rug. And just keep it moving. But now it's like, all right, try it. I wish you would try it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say I wish you would. Just don't try it.
Don't do that. Don't. That ain't what but I know what you mean.
But yeah, so it's like, okay, now I'm in a space where I also feel like I'm in a space where I am open to try different things.
Yeah.
Like it was a time I was watching the show. I was like, could I act? Could I do this?
Yeah.
And then it was a time where I was working on a production. It was like, hey, we need some extra people. It was like, Shemera, do you mind stepping in? I was like, I don't know. Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It sounds like you're in your yes phase.
Yes.
You know everybody's saying era. You're in your yes era. But like that's dope because it's like, okay, not being so rigid and being open to opportunities. Cause I really don't I agree in the sense of like you just don't know where life's gonna take you.
I was just about to say that.
You just don't know. Cause I always wanted to act and I told you before we started, I just did an audition and I was like, oh, you have not been acting, sister. Like I have not acted in a long time and it shows. But my point is I think it's brought me to the podcast and hosting, which I like more than, I mean, again, like we said, you don't know what itch you want to scratch as a creative.
Right.
But right now it's like, I like hosting more than anything. Well, not more than anything, but I like it a lot. And my point of saying that is, wherever you're being called to, even if it's not that, it'll take you where you need to go. Like exactly. You'll get, and like you say, yes, the opportunities. You never know what you're gonna like.
Right.
It's shocking to me to learn the things that I like.
Exactly.
That I didn't. Yep. So you saying yes is like, oh wait, will you act?
I feel so. I watch a lot of movies and I'm just like, Shemera, would you be able to do that? Is that something that you will be able to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I'll do that? I think it depends on what it is. It definitely depends on.
Yeah. I'm
like, Shemera, can you cry on a drop of a dime? Like, how far in your mind do you have to go to make yourself cry, and how fast can you do it?
Right. I love this is a side note. I love what somebody said. You've probably seen him. He was in this movie called The Marriage Story. This guy, he's a tall guy, and he was in the show Girls. Anyway, I'm said that to say he's an accomplished actor. And I heard him on a round table, and he was saying, this is a way side note, y'all. But he was saying, because I think we all think like you have to cry on cue. And he was saying, if the scene doesn't create that for him authentically, he won't do it. He won't make himself cry because he said, I'm here to tell the truth.
Right.
And if it's not in that moment. So anyway, if he cannot cry on cue, you don't have to, Shemera. So anyway, you don't gotta worry about that. I don't know. That's what he said.
Exactly.
So, but you're just wondering if you have the
ability to do it. Right.
Yeah. You should try it.
I said I would.
We can try to get back. I'm trying to get back into it. We can try together. We can read lines or something.
Right. And I'm either extra silly or reserved at the same time. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna laugh a little bit, but I'm gonna push through.
Yeah. I love that you're pushing through. Oh wait, so when did you feel like you failed? Oh yeah, after school.
After college, yes.
Because it didn't pan out. Sorry, y'all. Because it didn't pan out how you had envisioned. You had married the story in your mind.
Yes, literally. Yes. And I stuck to that for years.
And then it didn't go like that. So what it sounds like is being rigid and not being open is what made you feel like you failed, because you really hadn't failed,
right?
In any real way. How did you deal with it?
A whole lot of prayer
Really?
and a whole lot of pushing. And I just always tell myself, like, okay, well, you know what you like to do, just kind of embrace this space that you're in. That's another thing that I've learned to do. Just whatever area aspect I'm in, just embrace it. That way you're not overstressed, over analyzing, over this, over that. You're not doubting yourself, you're not questioning yourself. Just embrace the space that you're in, because you never know. Like, God probably got you in that space for a reason. Like, there were times I don't rest. And everybody be like, hey, Shemera, when do you go to sleep? When do you rest? And I'm just like, I mean, I rest. I get like 2 hours of sleep. But I mean, I rest. But it's like, okay, Shemera, now you in a space. Rest. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to not, I don't want to say compare myself, because, you know, like, you have imposter syndrome. And it's like, Shemera, you got all this time in the day. Why you sleep?
Yes.
But I just went to sleep at 4 this morning. Shemera, get up. You set your alarm for 8:45. You need to get up. Why are you still in bed? I'm tired. Get up. Everybody else is still doing that. Everybody else is doing this. Everybody else is doing that.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful, why are you still asleep? And I was like, Shemera, you gonna kill yourself. Keep allowing yourself to get in your own head.
Yes.
Rest.
Yes.
It's okay. Step away. And I have to learn to be okay with stepping away.
Yeah, I love that too. I know I keep saying that, but I really do, because full of cliches, I promise, but run your own race.
Yes.
Because I really feel like I feel like we got bamboozled as a culture. Like, hustle, do it this way, read all these self-help books and blah, 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 blah. And you can't be successful if you sleep, and you can't be successful if you eat. Like, you can't be successful unless you do it just like this, and you kill yourself. And I learned, like you're saying, like, you have to figure out what works for you, learn you, study you, and what works for you. So I know somebody who, in my family, she's gonna listen, who only sleeps 3-4 hours a night, and that works for her.
Right.
I need 8 to 10 personally, and I'm not a 4 a.m. girl. I'm not gonna be as productive. Some people can get up at 4 a.m. and be productive, and their day is amazing.
Right.
But I'm not like that. I need to get up later in the day. And when I say later, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever, and then do and that's how I show up fully for my life.
Right.
So it's no right or, I feel like it's not a right or wrong. It's studying what works for you.
Right.
And like you said, of not comparing yourself. I think we talked about it before the show started, of being inspired by other people, and that's wonderful. And I love having that inspiration and going to events like where we met and meeting people who are doing their thing, and that's so inspiring. But I'm not gonna say I'm always successful, but remembering, if it does pop up, not to compare myself to these people. And I'm not to their race. I don't know what they've been through. I don't know where they're going, nothing. And what's for somebody else might not even be for me.
Exactly.
And so constantly reminding I don't have to remind myself of it as much now, because it's more of a habit not to do that. But I think that's so important, just figuring out how to navigate your life that works for you.
Right.
And you don't owe nobody anything. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's so true.
Because I do that. I used to be like that too. Like, oh my God, I'm watching TV. I watched 3 hours of TV. I'm a failure. I'm a loser.
Yes, exactly.
And like, no, I needed to chill out for 3 hours.
Right.
I'm not going to do that every day.
Right.
But that's not it. That works for me in that moment. And I'm not going to beat myself up every time I take a doggone break.
Right.
It's stupid.
Exactly.
And I still get imposter syndrome. Oh my God. And sometimes it creeps up when I think I got it. Like, I'm like feeling confident. I'm like, I'm out here, I'm doing my thing. And I meet somebody, I'm like, oh my God. I have so much work to do. Exactly. And then I have to go to the cycle of like, you know what? This is inspiring. This is not to knock me down. Ain't nobody trying to, it's okay, Selena. It's okay. And telling myself, I got in this room, I must have did something right. I'm not an imposter. Like, it's okay. No one knows you feel like a loser right now. It's fine. But like you said, all those mind games not games, but the stuff you have to constantly remind yourself of, and have these conversations with yourself with love and kindness and grace.
Yes.
You have to do it. So wait, what did I ask you to press to get here? The failure thing?
Feel like a failure.
So to get out, am I boring you with this?
No, not at all.
So to get out of it, it was more of a mind thing.
Yes. And just pushing, no matter how when you just gotta push.
Mm-hmm.
Cause did I tell you I also clean Airbnbs too?
You clean Airbnbs
I
now?
used to. Yes.
Okay.
This is all while I was subbing and working at Cascade too.
Okay. You do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
You do what you gotta do.
Literally. Exactly.
I feel that's important too, to feel like not too proud to do certain things.
Yep.
Sometimes we might have to be humbled.
Oh yes.
And then check in, like, well, how did I get here? Why am I here? And then making some wondering how we're gonna change. Because I've done some odd jobs that I'm not proud of. Everything's legal and fine, but it's just it just wasn't on my. No, for real. When I say not proud of, I mean I felt like I was letting myself down.
Okay.
Because they weren't in alignment with who I knew I wanted to be in the world. They weren't in alignment with who I was. And for me, that really weighs on me when I'm waking up and doing something that I know is so far from where I need to be. And so, but for like 2 years, I had to do a bunch of stuff that I was like, what am I doing?
Right.
Like, I don't know. That felt, I don't know where I'm going with that. Just, yeah, I had to push through. I mean, it wasn't fun. Yeah. It wasn't fun.
And I feel like that sometimes if you're so focused on that one thing, you can tend to get comfortable as well. Because I'm gonna go back to working at Cascade. Cause listen, y'all, I had my lessons working there. So, I started off working at the front window.
Okay. Wait, what is Cascades?
It's a skating rink.
Okay, I thought so.
We should go skating one day. Let's
honey,
go.
I'll watch you. My balance is bad.
You know, we can figure it out.
I'll have to hold your hand. But, I thought it was a skating rink, but I didn't want to assume. You know, Atlanta, baby. Yes. All right. So anyway, you're working at Cascades at the front.
Yes, I started out working in the front window.
Okay.
And then I kind of maneuvered into working in the skate shop. Where they sell like the candy, the novelties, skates, and this, that, and the third. And I was like, I don't want to just sit. I don't want to just sit in the window all the time because I know there's so much more. I like to see. I like to see things. I like to observe people. I like to. I'm a people person in a sense.
Yeah.
And then the window kind of became more so stressful because I'm a person that abides by rules. So if you tell me something, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna break away from it. I'm not gonna shy away from it. I'm not gonna let you slide by it. If you tell me something, hey, don't do this, don't. Okay, well, that's what I'm gonna do. You can't skate while you're pregnant. Okay, I'm not gonna give you can't buy no skate ticket from me.
Okay.
So that was then that I don't want to say it became confrontational in the front, but it became a high stress place for me. So then I kind of just maneuver myself into another area.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, well, while I'm here, let me learn something else. Let me learn how to work on the skates. So then I started like, hey, let me step in. They'd be like, hey, Shemera, you want to learn how to do this? I sure do. Teach me how to do this. So now I'm just like, okay, I'm working on the skates.
Okay.
And now I'm selling this. And I'm just like, okay, well, now I need something else to do. So then I moved down into the skate room. So now I know how to. I was giving out the skates and just seeing all the different people and interacting with the different people. And then I was just like, let me go on to the kitchen. So now I'm just like, okay, let me work with all the food. Now I'm cooking the food too. So I'm doing all that. And I guess the owner saw me and was like, hey, like, or the manager at the time. It was like, hey, like, are you interested in a assistant manager position?
Okay.
I was like, sure, let's do it. So then I took on that, and now I'm doing like admin. And I'm just like, okay, all right, well, I don't know if this is what I wanted to do, but I'm like, okay, well, it's an experience. It's a lesson to learn. Now I'm learning like all these different aspects and different components within the skating rink and how to handle different situations, how to handle people and all the different personalities, how to... Y'all, conflict resolution. The Lord is still working on me with that because it was a lot. But just going into admin and learning how to work with like different hosting platforms like MailChimp and HubSpot. And I was like, I never would have thought that it was something that I would need. But now that I don't work there anymore, it's like, oh, shoot, I'm glad you got a chance to experience that because now you got that experience and you can use it in other areas of life.
Right.
And then I started doing like the incident reports.
Mm-hmm.
So when people would get hurt or break something, fall, get hurt, get sick, this and the third, that kind of, I don't know if I should say it humbles you, but it also brings you back to that level of empathy.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, now you have to be compassionate to this person. No matter, it can be the same person that was just cussing you out at the window. But now you can let your guard down, like, hey, Shemera, how would you want someone to treat you if this was you laying on this floor right now? So let me make sure, let me pull out, I used to be on the usher board, so let me pull out my usher board and let me just embrace the people. Let me try and get them as comfortable as possible. Let me motherly, I don't want to say motherly figure them, but let me just be like a mother figure in this moment and just make sure they're comfortable out of what everybody else want to rush you and get off the floor and see if they don't care.
Right.
But it's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be patient with you. You need somebody to squeeze. You need to squeeze my arm. Go ahead and squeeze my arm, baby. I'll fan you. Don't pass out right now, but I got you. So you just learn how to be humble, empathetic, a quick thinker. You just learn you just have to embrace being able to experience and learn different avenues.
Yeah, and navigate. I think the big thing there, when you said a lot, and that I wanted, that I think my brain is going like,
no, you good, you good.
But one, the empathy thing, the empathy component. But one thing, skill is dealing with all the different type of personalities. And then it's so funny that you say, like, this person, I see them in two very different ways. One, I see them outside arguing with me. They're at, there's a word for it, but they're at this one level, and then they fall and break a body part, and then you see them in this vulnerable state. That is so interesting to me. It's just, you know what I mean?
Right,
like somebody yell at you and then they need you.
Right, exactly.
It's we all can be in that position so quickly, and then you being empathetic is that's a great takeaway. It's so kind. Like, you're putting yourself in that person's shoes, even period. But even if they were nasty to you beforehand, it's you're looking at the human as a human, no matter what. That is something. I don't think we will all do that. Like, nah, Keith, you was just yelling at me over at the window. What you got to say now? Huh? What? Like,
right.
But no, I love that. And we don't know. We don't know what we would, how we would respond. Right? We all want to think that we're great people.
Until it comes out, are you gonna be great when it comes time to be great?
Yes.
Yeah, because my mom, she's always raised us to like treat people how you want to be treated. Be nice to people, no matter what. Like, always be nice to people.
Yeah. That's so wonderful that you implement that. And like two themes that I keep hearing from you are, one, just not being boastful or being too proud, you and being with that, being kind to people. And it seems like it's easy to say, right? But it seems like you actually practice it.
Yes.
And then two, of paying attention to your surroundings. So, and just learning from every situation. So at Cascade, when you got promoted to assistant manager, just by being yourself, just by being curious, just by honoring yourself and knowing what works for you and what doesn't, and moving along accordingly, just letting that kind of be your guide, your guide. And then when you get to that position, learning these skills that you can take with you in life, period. But definitely that conflict resolution with these with difficult personalities.
Yes.
How do you deal with them?
I will get depending on the situation, I'll get silent and yell in my head.
That's good.
Now, how my face gonna look, I don't know. I might either look like a deer in headlights and I'm cussing and fussing in my head, or I just say, okay, all right, or I just like, all right, little baby, go ahead on now. Because now I gotta dismiss myself because now you being rude.
Yeah.
So it just depends on
the situation.
How it literally depends on the situation.
That's wonderful though. You, I love that it's not like, oh, everything's just peachy and everything's fine. No, I cussed them out in my head because that's a real emotion. That's a real response to this. Just because I didn't cuss you out or I was kind to you. I still treated you with respect, but I had to get this out, and I got it out in my own head.
Right, exactly.
So I still had to process this. I love that because I feel like, well, for me, I feel like sometimes I have to be nice in my head too. No, I can process this. You're making me angry. I'm a person.
Right.
But that don't mean I have to cuss the person out.
Exactly.
I could just be like, okay.
You know how as a kid when you get in trouble and you're tired of your parents getting on you and they're just like, you can't say what you want to say.
You cannot.
But I'm just going to yell and I'm going to fuss and I'm going to cuss in my head, but I'm going to clean.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay. That's a really good example. I'm running away. We talking about ran away in my head.
Maybe you're not going nowhere.
You're not going nowhere.
In my head, I'm down the street. I'm not even here no more.
I found a journal from a long time ago when I was like 10. I was like, yeah, I'm running away. I'm getting my allowance next week. As soon as I get I'm gonna save up to $50 and I'm gonna run away. Where do you go with $50? Run away to where?
Not $50.
Where was I going?
I'm gonna make it work with this $50.
And I was like 10. I wasn't going to get a job.
Exactly.
Where did I think I was going? Oh, these delusional children. Anyway, I did not run anywhere. And yes, it was very good that I did not because I wouldn't have made it.
Exactly.
What's your biggest motivation?
My biggest motivation is my family. My family is my motivation. Because like my mom, she was definitely a strong provider within our household. So like even when we have I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm 30 something and she still to this day makes sure like we're good.
Okay.
Hey, do you need anything? Hey, do you good on this? Like I'm just checking in, just seeing if you're okay. Like how you feeling? We just call each other randomly. Hey mom, you good? Shemera, you good? Like you need anything? Well, let me know. Call me if you need me. And I'm grateful for that. My mama did not play. If y'all know Laverne, y'all already know she did not play. We couldn't go nowhere growing up.
Oh, strict.
Oh yeah.
That's why children respond to that differently. Some go rebel and then some become real strict rule followers. You went to the strict rule following.
Yes. I will have to say that. Yes.
You did not rebel.
But I think I was too scared to rebel.
But she put the fear in you.
Oh yes. But yes, so just having a loving environment, I want to make sure that I can provide for them whenever they say, "Hey, I want to do this."
You want to reciprocate?
Yes, and it's not a feeling that, not pressure of the need to do it. It's more so that I want to do it. Right. I want to be able to like, hey, my sister say they need something. My best friend say she needs something. My mom say, hey, I want to go do this. Okay, well, here, like, what is it that you need me to do? I want to be able to provide them to have that experience, that time, or whatever it is that they want or need, without putting me on the whack. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind giving them. So when I have this thing, I tell myself like, okay, well, if they need it, I'll figure it out how to take care of it for myself. Let me make sure that they're good. So it's like I put them before my needs. Like even if it puts me on a kind of like I'm on a little rock right shaky now, but I want to make sure. I'll go ahead because I know that I'll figure it out. Yeah. So that's kind of like that thing for me.
And that's how it works. It works for you.
Yep.
Okay. I'm keep pausing and stuttering on my words today because there's so many thoughts, but I'm like, okay, let me make sure I keep us on some kind of path here.
Yep.
What is something that you hope people say about you when you're not in the room?
What I hope people is that they see that I can work hard, that I don't see myself as above anybody. I'm human just like everybody else. Yeah. I'm just a regular person. Yeah. I'm not famous or anything like that. You want to hang? Well, depending on, I don't hang with everybody.
You still got your standards.
Yes, I definitely have my
Yeah.
standards, but it's not like I'm too good
Right.
for
It was
this.
right.
Because I see a lot of that nowadays.
Mhm.
Like the whole entitlement thing, that's something that irks my nerves to the T.
Really?
A sense of entitlement.
Okay.
So it's like, sweetheart, what do you bring to the table? Or what have you brought to the table to be able to say and list all of these standards? Or extremities that you want from somebody else that you can't provide for yourself. If you want a position where, oh, I don't want to do this, da 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 da, but then again, on the other hand, you want somebody else to do this, that, and the third. Are you willing to place yourself in that situation to do that thing that you know you won't do and expect somebody else to do? Are you able to do that? So that's just kind of like I always place myself in other people's situation.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily situation, but I place myself in a situation and how I would feel if it was me.
Right. So you want to be, I'm trying to surmise it in my brain. I don't know why my wheels are turning like they are today, but so you want to be seen for working hard and I guess to make this is a plain word, I guess, but kind.
Yes, just being kind, and just I remain true to myself no matter how far I go in life, how low I go in life.
Okay.
I just want everybody to know Shemera remains Shemera.
Yeah.
I'm not putting on for you. I'm not gonna pretend to be somebody else that I'm not, because I don't know how to do that.
Right.
I mean, I can act now and then, but I don't know how to act that good.
You're grounded in who you are.
Right, exactly.
And you like who you are, and you are in tune with who you are.
Right.
And you don't put on, you're not going to put on airs, and you don't want to ever feel like you're asking for more than what you're willing to give.
Yep.
Yeah. How do you stay grounded and true to who you are?
God.
Okay.
God and my family.
And how do you know who you are?
Going through a lot of trials and tribulations. And just so, like, when I go through things, as of lately, when I go through things, I kind of have like I don't want to say it's like an aha moment, but it's more so, okay, Shemera, you went through this, so you can either look at this as a negative or a positive. So it's like, okay, well, look at it as, what's the lesson learned in this situation? Right. What did you take from it?
Yeah. I think it's important not to dwell on like, woe is me, or I'm a victim. And and I think it's like a similar thing of, you can go through that emotion but not get stuck on it. Just like when you get mad at somebody, you yell at them in your head, but then you move on. Like, how am I going to treat this person? The same thing when bad things happen. I'm not saying glaze over that part where it hurts, because it does hurt. You have to process that part. But then it's like, okay, let me clean myself. I fell, my knee is bloody. I mean, clean it up. And let me keep on walking. Like, what am I going to do now? Ice it, whatever you got to do. And I don't think you ice a wound, but like, I'm no doctor. But and then just figuring that, and then taking that approach too. And then when you said you stay grounded because of God, what do y'all be doing?
Oh, we definitely got to talk every day. Okay. So what I've learned now, like, before my feet ever touch the ground. And I'm gonna open my phone up. I'm going to make sure I go to my Bible app, and whatever scripture it is that day, I'm going to read it. And then they have the scripture, and then they have the prayer guide, and then they have like a breakdown of the scripture. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm going through each of those components before I touch the ground. I'm gonna sit up, and then it's like, all right, now Lord, it's me and you. Now we gotta have our conversation. After I have my prayer time, all right, I'm ready for the day.
So, and what do you get from the scripture? What does it give you?
It depends on it depends on where I am mentally. Sometimes I might not even understand, or sometimes I'm not gonna lie. Like this morning, I was half asleep, but I was like, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna go back to sleep for like 10 more minutes, but I get up and read it again.
I have very similar.
But I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I read it, but my feet not gonna touch this floor.
But the ritual, what does the ritual do for you? Like that ritual of reading it every morning.
It helps give me like a routine. It sets my day. That's how I try to set my day.
Yeah. And I wasn't trying to pry an answer out of you.
You good.
But I'm asking because for people, I don't need to give this disclaimer. I do believe in God, but if people who don't, they listen. I don't want them to feel like they don't have tools too.
Right.
And anyway, you take what you take from the shows, and I don't have to give you everything every
Right.
time.
Uh-huh.
But for the audience, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. I think what Shemera is saying, and I do a similar practice of like having some type of ritual, having some type of practice that gets your mind right before you get out of bed.
Or even if it's not that, like, say I don't want to read the scripture, but I was like, okay, let me listen to something positive in the morning.
Yeah.
And I go to YouTube. I was like, hey, 10-minute motivational video.
Yeah.
If I don't want to have. I only got 5 minutes to spare. Okay, 5-minute motivational video. Just something that'll help kind of set your day in a positive mindset.
Because I'm not gonna lie, and not to get too deep into God, but I've been upset with him from time to time,
and it's okay. Just like we get upset with our parents. So.
Exactly. I will go to the other stuff, the secular. No, it's not secular, but I will go to. Instead of the scripture, I would go to a site called dailymotivator.com. And there's every day. It's not religious, or not that you're saying religious. It's not spiritual. It's not in Christianity or anything. And it's just positive message for the day. And like, it's kind of long, not long. It's like a paragraph or two. And it does that same thing. Just set the tone. For me, I do need some kind of guidance in the morning. And then I check in with myself too. Okay, how am I feeling today? Where is my mind? I need to know what kind of energy I'm giving myself, what I'm giving the world. Like, how's my mind for the day? What are my intentions for the day? And think about what I got to do. I'll play the day. I'll visualize it in my mind. Anyway, nobody asked my morning routine, but nobody. Selena. Well, listen, this is what But I think I'm saying I'm only saying all that to say, like, if it's not the Bible, because I'm with you. I do for the most part. 80% of the time it's the scripture. Sometimes I get mad. That's normal to get mad with the Lord sometimes. But I know that's like black, that's not something people admit to, but it's the truth. But anyway, just that getting your mind right in the morning, right? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
And I went a long way around that to get there.
And you have to do what's best for you. I'm not gonna lie. I've had my days where I don't feel like reading.
No, what? I'm glad you said that.
Sometimes I might be asleep. I wake up and I finally get a good night's sleep, and I'm just like, oh yes, I'm about to hop up because I'm ready to go. And I have days like that. And it is perfectly fine.
It is.
But I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray at some point.
At some point. And do a check-in. Yeah, like today I was excited. I'm not gonna lie today. And I love that you said that. All of this stuff doesn't have to be rigid. Giving yourself grace. And I said something to myself at the beginning of the year. It's what I do 80% of the time that matters. Like I'm not gonna even believe that I'm gonna do every little thing I want to do 100% of the time.
Right. Yep.
Like it ain't.
Nothing is perfect.
It's not gonna happen. And when I do that, I keep letting myself down, getting mad at myself, then stopping. Like no. You do it 80% of the time, you will be all right.
Yep, exactly.
So with the like this morning, I didn't do it. I wanted to, but I was so excited. The sun was shining. It's gonna be 72 degrees today or whatever. I was like, and I slept a lot this weekend. I was telling you, I had a lot of sleep yesterday. I had espresso coffee this morning. I was like, I'm coming out.
Yep,
so
exactly.
It was just
music on.
I was just too excited. But I did talk to him before the podcast.
Exactly.
So I still did.
See? But at some point, even if it's just to say thank you God for another day.
Yeah.
It could be just something.
Thank you for waking me up. That's what sometimes I don't feel like getting out of bed, and I'm like, thank you for getting me up, and then I try to go into gratitude. Like I don't feel like getting up, but I can get up.
Right.
I can do. I have these because sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. And like, no. You get to do those things.
Right.
You are privileged in that sense. And so I really want to take back that word privilege because we have a lot of privileges in our life if we look for it in that way. Anyway, I'm getting preachy, but you got privileges if you just look hard enough. But yeah, I love that. And then what you said about, did you have anything else to say about that?
No.
Okay. And real quick, what you said about you ain't gonna hang with everybody. So one of the questions I ask on the show is, what do people have to hang out with you or be in your circle?
My circle's so small. My circle consists of my sisters and my best friend. Me and my best friend been best friends since 6th grade.
Wow.
My sisters, we've been sistering since forever. My younger sister is 4 years younger than me, and then I'm a twin. So it's like that's literally my ride or die circle, and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's my circle right there. My go-to, my whenever I need to vent, whenever we need to vent to each other, if I need to pull up, that's them.
Yeah.
As far as everybody else, I have my other people as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just because I know they're genuine, and I pray, and I pray, and I'm not to say I pray all day every day, but I can feel people's genuinity.
Okay.
Is that a word?
Authenticity.
I can tell if they're genuine or not.
All words are made up, y'all. You can make up genuinity.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the word.
It's gonna be one today.
It's Shemera's dictionary, Shemera's Webster.
But yes, I can literally tell when people are for me and they're not for me. Okay. But I do pray for discernment. Like if I feel myself kind of getting connected to people, all right, God, show me what's their intentions. And if it's not for me, you can go ahead and just
yeah.
But I can feel when people are genuine. Like Ryan Hill, we've been cool since I was in college.
Okay.
That's a genuine friendship right there as well.
That's the guy you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Okay.
Him and his business partner.
Okay.
We locked in solid. Whenever they need me, I'm there. They don't. I don't expect payment or anything. That's just one of those friendships. Like we feed off of each other. We support each other. We speak words into each other. We speak life into each other. So that's them. And I have my friends where I have people where I know when and where I can hang with them, or even if I just check in. Like I have friends from elementary school. I have friends that from middle school. So it's like some people we might not speak every day,
right?
But I know we locked in like this. If they say, "Hey, like I need you. I need your energy. Let's hang out. I'm with you. I'm good." So I'm the type of person like I always check in.
Okay.
In a sense.
Okay.
We might not have like a close bond or anything, but I'm still say, "Oh, you crossed my mind today. Like, how are you feeling? Like, what's going on? Like, what's been going on? What you been up to?" And I was like, "I don't want anything. I just want to check and see if he was good." And then that'll be that.
Okay.
So it's like, and then there are times where I meet people and I'm just like, okay, this might be the only time and the last time.
What is a red flag?
People that talk too much.
Well, dang, you're not gonna hang out with me.
Well, no, not in that manner. Okay. No, we can hang out. No, there's a certain level of conversation that I can only withhold. If you talk too much and you're literally boasting all the time about yourself,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Or you're complaining about people, or you're talking to. I'm not a big person that's always going to talk about me. So it's like I don't want to be around anybody else that's literally talking about this. I've done this. I've done a lot too, but you wouldn't know it.
Right. So it's like, well, first of all, it sounds like you're not asking for anything that you don't give in these relationships, but also, to me, if I were to surmise that, it would be like somebody who ain't really talking about nothing,
right?
Like, because even though you're talking about yourself,
well, baby, these people can talk.
It's not really. It's you. Well, I would say I could surmise it better. Just no one who is adding anything of value,
right?
Because you are, like I said earlier, you're very reciprocal. So you want it to be like when you just mentioned your friend who him and his business partner. You pour into each other,
right?
And so that's important to you. So somebody who's just, it sounds like kind of oblivious to what's going on around them, they're not paying attention to you. You want to stay away from people that are complete opposite of you, in the sense of like, one, you pay attention to your surroundings, you learn from them, you pick up from them. This person, let's just say this person A or whatever, this person is clearly oblivious to what's going on, a little delusional, and because like and then just not genuine, and doesn't seem like somebody who would pour into you,
or who feel like they know it all. Like maybe you don't know everything.
Nobody does.
I don't care how much you know. you can still learn something from somebody else.
Mm-hmm. I really feel like that. And you know, I feel like the more I learn, the more I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yep.
Every day I be like, dang, I really don't know nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I know zero things. Zero of the things.
But that's when you take like having these conversations.
Yeah.
That's how you take that bits and pieces. That's when observation comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I go to the events that we met at.
Yeah.
I don't remember half the stuff that I learned years ago while I was in college.
Right.
So just being in an environment, I'm going to observe. I'm going to ask questions out loud, just kind of bring back memory of those things that I used to know.
Right.
So I can place myself in an environment. Oh, let me pick up on this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what it was. That's how you do that.
Yep.
And having a conversation, those are learning nuggets.
I think I agree 100%. And I think too is like this might be a little different than what you're saying, but like osmosis, I guess. Like whenever you're around something, it's gonna get on you,
exactly,
whether good or bad. That's why you got to be careful. But the good, like you said, in those spaces that we met in, a lot of that, just that knowledge, it just picks up. It's so funny. It just picks up. And then I always think like I might not consciously be picking up stuff around me all the time, but it's getting in there. Yeah. Like, you know, this is a good example for me. It's like if I go in a store and I get something quick and then I come out and I'm singing a song. I'm like, why am I singing that song? I'm like, I just heard it in the store, but I wasn't even conscious of it. Exactly. And it got in there though. And I come out, you know, singing it. So I feel the same way with environments. And that's why I'm like, okay, I have to be really careful. And that's like a hard thing for me with boundaries and stuff like that. But like, I have to be careful where I go. I think we all should, but that's just my opinion, because it's going to get in there. Yeah. Like whatever you're around is going to get in there.
And it takes a strength. Even if you go into environments that you aren't comfortable with, you have to know yourself for one. You have to know that you're grounded enough to have the mental capacity to be strong to hang on to what it is that you know in this environment and not be easily persuaded. Yeah. Because listen, the film industry, that's a devil within itself. Hello? And you have to mentally be strong to embrace the capacity and the things that you go through. Especially being, I'm sorry, y'all, I love the film industry, that's where I want to be. But especially being like a person of color in the environment, you have to. It can be an everyday battle. And I'm not saying the whole industry as a whole is bad, this and the third, but you have to be able to maintain and compose yourself in a certain manner. Yes, you can be yourself, but there are certain things that you can and can't do.
Yeah. It's a tricky world to navigate. And even I would say too of who, when we talk about genuinity, when we talk about being genuine, like it's so tricky to see who is talking shit, like just pulling crap out of the side of their neck versus like someone who's really doing something, really has done things. Yeah. That's one of the things that everything that glitters isn't gold
at all.
But you meet people who are like, I did this, I did that, and then there's nothing to back it up. Like, and so that's another thing of being discerning or what their goals are too. And I think about it being a woman too, being a woman in the industry. It's a lot of seedy stuff going on. You don't know what people's motivations are, what their intentions are. So all of that stuff, like you said, it's some kind of, for me, it's the same, like some kind of, I get the quiet and just try to go with what I feel. Like, is this something I should pursue? Is this person okay? And then sometimes you just gotta jump in there and see, but being discerning is so important in the, I think, period, but especially in an industry where you just don't know what people's motivations are. It's so true, and it's a tricky world. But real quick, okay, I'm rewinding down. I do want to ask two quick things, but. Okay. So before that, real quick, the being grounded part, you said you talk to God. Is there anything else that keeps you grounded in yourself and knowing yourself?
I talk to my circle.
The people around you.
Yep.
Okay. I love that. So important. It's basically just who you talk to and who you
Yeah.
keep around
Yeah.
yourself, and then just staying in tune with yourself.
Right. And sometimes you're gonna have those moments where, yes, I talk to my circle. Yes, I vent to my circle. But you also have to have those moments where you have to be able to and be okay with sitting by yourself and actually going through those emotions, actually just going through and sitting and thinking about just life in general. Because I've learned that I've had to, yes, I want to talk to somebody about this, but Shemera, you need to sit down in this space and actually think about it. Actually go through the feeling. If you need to cry, go ahead and cry. If you need to laugh, go ahead and laugh. If you need to dance, go ahead and dance. Whatever it is that you need to do, just to embrace that thing for yourself with yourself. And that's the thing that's I feel like people don't do enough of nowadays. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But if people don't take time to be by themselves, sometimes they say, I don't like being by myself. It's not about what you don't do or don't like doing. It's something that's a necessity you need to do.
Yeah.
If you can't stand being by yourself with yourself, what makes you think anybody else is going to want to be around you?
And you don't know who you are. And I think that's how it's easy to get lost. And that includes turning off social media. I don't think that's how you say it, turn it off. But anyway, not
you're gonna have to turn that bad boy.
You're gonna have to like just disconnect. And I'm not saying go delete it and go post. I'm going on a hiatus. No, a few minutes a day, like 20 minutes a day by yourself. I think what you said about that, I was just thinking, when always running to talk to somebody else. I just started practicing this year, the last few months. You don't have to go to somebody for everything.
Yeah, right.
Even people I trust, meaning well, it was a message that I was getting from the universe or whatever. Like, you need to shut up. Like, you need to ask yourself what needs to happen in this situation.
Yeah.
Because even though people have the best intentions for you, they can like your circle, they weren't there. They don't know everybody in it. They don't know what how you feel inside. You can explain things, but sometimes, and I would say similar to what I'm sure you would do is like talk to God about it.
Right, exactly.
And like I need to get my own decisions and stop running to other people for every little thing. Because I did have a habit of that. And these are people I love. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just Selena needs to talk to Selena.
Right. Yeah.
And chill out with herself. And now right now I'm trying to make a decision by myself. I ain't talking to nobody. I'm like, this is probably the first time I'm making a big decision by myself. And I'm like, oh my God, am I making the right decision?
Right. Yep, you just gotta trust your instinct and your gut.
Yeah, and like block out the noises too. Like but yeah, that's a big thing, and it's not. For me, it's scary. You don't bounce the idea off of anybody. You just go pull the trigger on it. Oh, okay. So,
but also being able to overcome that is like a strength. Once you come out at the end, it's like, yes, I did it.
Yes.
I didn't think in the beginning I didn't know I can do that.
That's true.
But I did it.
Yeah. Yep. It's like a muscle you work out. It's gonna get stronger.
Yeah. You don't know how it's gonna end. But just doing it and then at the end you succeed through it, and it's like, I did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did that.
That's a good point. Okay. Exciting, scary ride. Okay. My biggest question is, what does it mean to be successful?
What does it mean to be successful? I think that means just being able to be, I don't want to say content, but content and at peace, and you're able to rest. You don't have to overthink things. You don't have to question everything. Yes, you're able to, and it's not even monetary.
Right.
Like, even if I'm at a phase now, I feel like I am successful for where I am right now, because I know even when I have my days or moments where I'm without, I know that the time will come where I'm able to provide. I'm not going to stress about what I don't have. I'm going to be grateful for what it is that I do have. I'm forever thanking in advance for what's coming my way. So it's like just being able to embrace calmly, peacefully where I am now. That's the main definition of success for me. Now, blowing up and getting big, yes. I always say this. I never want to reach a level where I am this well-known person, but I can't be comfortable being myself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be wealthy enough, have my account full enough where I can just say, here, this, that, and the third, bills paid, this, that, and the third, and not have to worry. But also not have to put on this show or front or anything like that, and not feel like I can't be myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as I can be myself wholeheartedly, remain true to myself, and still have the people that I love around me, and I can support them and do whatever it is that I need to do, that's success for me.
What is it to gain the whole world and lose yourself?
Exactly.
So it's like that was my cliche number 50 this episode. But it's so true. They're cliches for a reason. But I love that too. You know, just staying in tune. I've been saying star player a lot. That's from Cat Williams, but I was saying that before the interview. But anyway, staying in tune with your star player, and like I think that is so wonderful. You can't take me from me. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, and being at peace.
Yeah.
I think like obvious success and jobs and money and stuff, of course, those are wonderful things, but that's only one aspect of who you are.
Exactly.
And it won't mean anything if you don't have peace, right?
But do you know how many people that's rich, that's poor, and going insane right now? They can't even be with themselves. They can't be around other people. Everything makes them upset. They can't laugh anymore. They can't play anymore.
If you have this unshakable, unwavering place that you can go inside of yourself, that is, I don't think anything can beat that.
Exactly.
Because nothing will change that. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm like, what should I say? What should I say? I volunteer. I'm gonna say it because I want to. All right, real quick. I volunteer at this. I was volunteering somewhere, and the guy, he was unhoused. He was unhoused, and it was everyone there was, and he was. You could genuinely feel that this person felt grateful inside. He wanted 2 milks or something, and we weren't allowed to give it to him. And then the guy traded him for it because he heard him ask for it. And the guy traded something for him to get 2 milks. He was like, look at how things work out. Things always work out.
Exactly.
And this man is like, somebody from the outside might be like, how is this person grateful in this situation? But that's what I mean by that. I don't know him. That was only an instance, but I think it's a beautiful example of this unwavering. When something's in you, you can't take it from me.
Exactly.
You can't take that from me. I don't give a damn what's going on out in the world. So I really love that. I got like a little bit of chills because if you get that going inside, okay.
Just being grateful. There's been times where I've done things or working with people, and I was like, okay, I'm doing it for free. But then they'll send me like something for gas, and I'm just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Thank you, I appreciate that. Because and now when I tell myself, I am so and so, I have this much more than what I did before.
Right.
I don't care if it's $2. I don't care if it's $5. It's $1. That dollar gonna go either in my savings or snack, whichever one. But it's $1 more than what I had.
Right.
And that's just how you look at everything. Somebody like, oh, $5, baby, that's more than what I had before.
And you got experiences. You got an experience, and you got to meet more people. You don't know you just never know what's gonna happen. I don't know if it's because it's sunny today. I had a lot of coffee, a lot of sleep, but that's so exciting. You know, you just don't know what's gonna happen, what the future holds.
Literally.
That's exciting.
Dude, somebody can probably watch this podcast. It's like, hey, I seen you did that interview with so and so, and we seen that you like to talk. We can take this. Would you like to host this something bigger?
Yeah,
you just literally you never know.
You don't, and that's really exciting. Okay, that makes it feel like I don't know, like almost like a childlike wonder of the day. What could happen?
Right. You just hang on to that forever.
For real.
You just never know.
Okay, I only have one more question and we'll close out. What piece of advice would you give to listeners who might want to become a videographer or costume? I keep messing that up. Costume designer?
I work in the costume. I work in the, I'm not going to say just. Y'all erase just from your
Yeah.
vocabulary.
Yeah.
I work in the costumes department. in the
Okay.
film industry.
So
Yes.
advice for getting in the film industry
Mhm.
or any avenue,
Mhm.
any, you know what I'm saying.
I got what you're saying, girl. I
I'm a
got
mess
you.
today, y'all. So be all right. Yeah.
I would just say, for starters, remain true to yourself, because for one, this is a social media territory right now.
Mhm.
Everything is online. Remaining true to yourself, not trying to put on for what you see on social media. Always remain true, because people can sense genuinity. People can literally sense that.
That's true.
And you might seem like you're being overlooked because of everybody else that's getting their shine and this, that, and the third. But no, people can literally sense when you're genuine in a situation or whatever it is that you do.
Mhm.
Always show up giving your best. I don't care if it's picking this piece of paper off the floor. I'm gonna skip my little happy-go-lucky self over to get this piece of paper, this piece of hair off of the floor.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna smack my teeth. I'm not gonna huff and puff. I'm not gonna stump my feet. Because one, I'm gonna remind myself I'm grateful for being here.
Mhm.
Because how many people want to be here to pick up this piece of paper,
Yeah.
or sweep up this piece of hair, or whatever it is? You're in that environment, so be grateful for wherever you are.
Mhm.
If you got into a room, it's not what you want to do, but you're in the room.
Mhm.
So you have to show up, be your authentic self, be grateful, and give more than 100%. I don't care if it's the littlest thing, the biggest thing. Show up your 100% authentic self, and be willing to help others.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Y'all heard it here. All right. Anything else? You feel good before we close out?
I feel amazing right now.
Yay!
I feel so good.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. We're gonna close out. I feel like I have so many more questions. And so I always say this to guests, like they have to come back on, but I mean it. So I need to start scheduling for the next time, because I have so many more questions and thoughts. And that's why I keep pausing, because it's like, clean it up and summarize it quickly as possible.
Right.
But thank you, Shemera, for sharing your time with me and inspiring listeners to redefine success for themselves. You can find out more about Shemera on Instagram.
Yes, at Shemera. It's Shemera. You can also follow my photography and video page at Mirror Images. MERAIMAGES. Or if you just go to my regular Instagram page, it's linked in the bio.
I will put that in the show notes as well. And so check the show notes, y'all. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in.
Yes.
Again, I ask that you subscribe to the You Plus Happy YouTube channel and share it with your friends, all of them. Put it in the group chat. Tell them to subscribe. Please, please, please. It will be very helpful. And you can follow the show on Instagram at You Plus Happy. You can follow me at Selena_Marshae. And I ask the guests, I feel so embarrassed because the guest last week, Ben Lee, check out that episode. He was like, your tagline's too long. I like it, y'all. But give me your opinion, Shemera. But I do ask the guests to say the tagline, which is, we'll show you our definition of success if you show us yours.
We'll show you the definition of a success as long as you show us yours.
Yay, we did it! Woo-hoo! Woo!